Okay, I see our participants are actually signing in at a fast rate. So welcome to everyone that signed on at the moment. While we give the rest of the participants a chance to sign in, I'm going to ask those of you online, if you would like to just make use of the chat function, just pop us a message with your name and where you are signing in from. This will just allow us a moment for the rest of the participants to sign in. So if you've just joined us, a warm welcome. Please make use of the chat function. Just let us know who you are and where you are from. We will give it a moment longer just to let everyone else sign in before we begin. I see we have our first participant that says, "Hi, I'm Prudence from Johannesburg." Olokola, I hope I've said your name correctly, and that's from Lesotho. I do apologize for any mispronunciations or omissions. If I miss your name, it's not that I'm ignoring you, but the names are coming in quite fast now. We have Leisha from UKZN. I'm going to say we have C. Kambi from Western Cape. We have Epileng from Klerksdorp, Victoria from Pretoria, Tiffany from Benoni. A warm welcome, everyone. Serena from Cape Town, Chanel from Pretoria. We are just allowing a few moments for everyone to sign in. And while we do that, we are using the chat function for those who just signed in, just to pop us a message with who you are and where you are from. I see we have Elizabeth from Cape Town, Pumza from PE, Marcelo from Pretoria, Carly from Potchefstroom. We have Tsuma, or pronounced Suma, from Johannesburg. Thank you for that. Then we have Anle from Paul in Cape Town. Hi, everyone. It is so good to see everyone online today. We are just giving it a moment for the rest of the participants to sign in. Monica from Bloemfontein, Sumila from Bloemfontein, Yolanda from Durban, Katlego from Johannesburg, but in Cape Town for school. I hope you are warm where you are today. So it looks like we are about ready to begin. So if I've missed your name, I would just like to say a warm welcome to everyone online today. I have the privilege of introducing our speaker today. I'm going to attempt her name at a very slow pace. It is Sitawe Inkosi Sivela, is an author and inspirational speaker. She is currently in her final year at University of Johannesburg for her degree in accounting and is a Golden Key member. With her passion for the pursuit of purpose, she has used her storyline, telling through poems, quotes, magazines, as well as virtual inspirational sessions to encourage young people to discover and fulfill their purpose. In her recent magazine titled Girl, Destiny Calls, she encourages young women to unleash their potential and step out to their destinies. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Can you confirm if you can hear me clearly?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you so much. And a warm welcome to everyone from all over. Yes, we're going to start on Girl, Destiny Calls. Yeah, so I would like you guys to look at the screen right now. So if it was a contact session, I was going to do something different, perhaps an activity, a puzzle. I like giving that. So I would like you guys to construct a word looking at that picture. You are not allowed to add any letter there. Just construct a word. And obviously it's impossible, right? Because we know that the word has to be water. And it's just WTRA. So we're missing a letter there, right? So if it was a contact session, I was just going to give people a puzzle and then remove one puzzle piece from the box. That's what I usually do. But now, since it's virtual, we're missing a letter, and that letter is E. So what's the moral of the story in this thing? You are the missing letter. That's it. That's the moral of the story. So now with the story of the water, I usually put it as someone who's walking in a desert for 3 days and you're thirsty, really, really thirsty, right? And then now you have not met an oasis or whatever, and you're really thirsty. What is it that you do? If you see a stranger with water, do you look at their color? Do you look at their skin? Do you look at the texture of their hair? Do you look at their gender? No, you don't, because all you want is water. You just run and grab that bottle of water that they have, because all you want is to quench that thirst, and then you can say hi afterwards, right? So that's the way it is with the world. The world is just a place full of problems that need solutions. And the solutions are the human beings within the world, regardless of gender, color, race, ethnicity, or whatever, because you are that problem solver, right? So I'll give an example of, I'm doing accounting, for example, right? And I'm actually thinking of being a chartered accountant, so I'm just aiming at being a chartered accountant. What do we do as chartered accountants? We audit the firm, audit the companies. And why do we have to audit the companies? Because there is a problem of making sure that their resources are well managed. So we go in there and audit their books. How are they using their resources? Are the shareholders confident enough of how the managers are managing the resources that they invest in there? So that's why we as auditors, we go there. Another problem, for example, is that now a very good example is the pandemic, right? So now the doctors, the scientists, the researchers, and everyone are the problem solvers, right? You can name a lot of other problems. Sometimes the places are dirty there and we need someone to clean. That's a very good example of a problem solver. So where am I going with this? Since the world is full of problems that need solutions, why then do you look at yourself and say, oh my gosh, I'm a girl, I can't do this? Why do you look at yourself and shrink back and look at the skin color that you have, your hair type, your ethnicity, your race, your background? Why do you look at that? Because it's not about who you are, where you come from, your background or stuff. It's about the solution that you have to give. It's about the problem solving that you have to offer the world, right? So this is a quote from a recent magazine, that women and girls are problem solvers, just packaged differently, right? So I have a very good example here. This is my bottle of water. So I'm sure some of you, actually everyone has a bottle of water, either way, I'm just assuming. And we have different designs, different packages, you know. So some use Tupperwares and stuff like that. The same use is to have water inside that bottle, just packaged differently. So we also quench the world's thirst, but we are packaged differently. So why then do you shrink back when you see that problem? Why then do you know that you can be that problem solver? You know that you want to give the solution to the world, but why is it that you look at the mirror and say, no, no one has ever done this, why me? You know, women and girls are problem solvers, just packaged differently. Look at yourself as that solution, just packaged differently, right? Consider a bee. That's one of the examples that I like. And fun fact, I was once stung by bees, a swarm of them. But can you imagine the impact that they have, as small as they are? An ant even, you see, an ant is one of the smallest species that we have on Earth. And you can literally just step on it. But it's part of an ecosystem. And without that ant, the ecosystem is incomplete, because it also works to complete the whole atmosphere, and it is good for other parts of the ecosystem there. The units, the flowers, one after the other. That's why they say as busy as a bee. This is what a whole elephant could not do. But the smallest part, the bee, can do that. the wind even. The wind can also pollinate. So every single thing that is on this earth is used as a problem solver, as a solution to your problem, right? So like I said, usually when I have contact sessions, I'll always have an activity. So with you guys now, I would like you to take like 10 seconds. I put a picture of nature because I like nature a lot. That's where I'll go for my quiet time to just reflect and do. So just for 10 seconds, you can close your eyes if you can, or just keep quiet, clear your brain right now. I'm not saying shut your brain down because obviously it's impossible to do that. I'm just saying clear your brain, lower all the volumes that are just there because, our world is too loud, but just shut all the volumes that are necessary at this time and have a conversation with you. Listen to the voice that's in you. What is it that you know that definitely I would like to offer the world this? What is it that you know that, okay, each time I close my eyes, I wish I could do A, B, C, D. What is it that always comes to you? Just put that at the back of your mind as we continue with this program. You can write it down if you want to write it down, or because I know every single one of us has a solution to your problem, is a solution to your problem. It could be writing like me, I write, for example, and that is a solution. That's why I'm here, actually. I'm giving a solution to what we already have, the problem that we have, the stigma we have as ladies in the world, So what is it that you know? It could be your talent, your purpose, your calling, the gift that you have, right? So moving on. I just want to ask you one question. What is stopping you from stepping out? What is it that is stopping you from stepping out? I don't know how to say this. You have something within you. Then what is it that is stopping you? You can have a list of excuses. Okay, not excuses per se, but you can say it's barriers. You can say capital, for example, if maybe you're an entrepreneur, you can say capital, you can say your background, you can say my race, the world that I live in is not supportive of the race that I'm in, and gender that we're talking about. The list is so endless, but the common list that we usually have is fear. Fear is one of the greatest enemies that we all face. Every single one of us has one fear or the other. And we deal with fear every single day. And fear is one enemy that is also part of the world. Actually, the unfortunate part is that it's never going to disappear. You have to face it every single day. And sometimes we're afraid of failure. What if I fail? What if I try and do this and the whole world is watching? What if I fail? Don't let the fear of failure rob you of the productivity in life, right? Because failure is also part of success itself. The reason why you know that you don't have to do A, B, C, D is probably because you have failed and you know that you learned a lesson from it. So there are some lessons that we learn from failure that success is never going to teach us. So why then are we afraid of failure? Because one of the steps of the failure is part of this ladder steps there. As you climb up to the success ladder, you also have to step on the failure that you have to meet either way. So don't run from failure because it makes you. Actually, what do you have to do? Maximize your forward motion, turn it around and look at it as a life lesson. I usually like to use the example of a baby. You see a child who's trying to take a few steps, they're learning how to walk. I saw this with my sister when she was learning how to walk. So she was trying to navigate around the house and she was really short, And so she'll bump into stuff, she'll hit her head into stuff. But the next time she goes into the same room, she knows that she doesn't have to use this route because this is the exact route that got her knocking her head onto stuff, So turn it around and look at it as a life lesson. Okay, I know that if I use this route, I am definitely going to knock my head off. So look at it as a life lesson, And it's so funny that some of us say, okay, perhaps I'll be better if I grow older, I'll be more mature and then I won't feel this fear. Fear is never going to disappear. There will never be a convenient time. So the bad news then is that if you are waiting for that time when fear is going to disappear completely, then you're going to wait for the rest of your life. because that time may never come. There will never be a convenient time where fear is going to disappear completely. So you have to rise up, face your fears, deal with them. Just face the fear in front of you until it gets behind your back, because you'll face it every single day. It's so funny that one of the fears that we have is the fear of greatness. I actually suffered with that at some point, because you look in the mirror and say, who am I? Who am I to do this? Who am I to do ABCD? Why me? And sometimes we do have some ideas that we think are really great, and you just pass them on to your neighbors. Opportunities come to us, doors of opportunities open, and then what do? You shrink back, or you just take your neighbor and say, I think this door is yours, it's not mine. Why are you afraid of greatness? Why are you afraid of greatness? You were born to be great. You are born to fly high. Who said this is not your door? It's opening in front of you because it's yours. So why then are you labeling yourself as not worthy of the door? I like this quote from Marianne Williamson. She says, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. We ask ourselves, who am I to be gorgeous? Who am I to be talented? Actually, who are you not to be? And I want to ask you the same question today. Who are you not to be gorgeous? Who are you not to be talented? Who are you not to go out there and be seen by the world? Who are you not to go out and be seen in that TV? Who are you not to be? You have to fly high, because every single one of us has a crown specifically tailored to suit your head, to fit your head. So no one else is going to fit in your crown. So stop pushing that greatness to some people, because your own greatness is waiting for you as well, right? So take that crown, fix your crown, put it on you. It's not being arrogant. You just deserve greatness because you were born to be great. You were born to fly high, right? I like the elephant as well, but it's not my favorite animal. We're going to discover that in the end. But I like its attitude. You know, an elephant will approach an animal with a horn. So it will approach and it knows that this is my lunch. And the animal with horns, it's saying, oh my gosh, this is an enemy. It's coming to devour me. It's so funny that it has sharp horns, but it's just thinking of running away. And the elephant doesn't have sharp horns and is going there and saying, I am going to kill that thing. I am going to eat that thing. Why? Because it's all hidden in its attitude. It's hidden in its mentality. It knows how great it is. And sometimes it doesn't even run. It just goes there and doesn't even roar deeply. But you know, all those antelopes will be, oh, here comes the king of the jungle. It's not arrogance. It's knowing who you are. You know, there's this story that I actually heard a few weeks ago, that researchers carried out an experiment, and they put in 4 monkeys in a room, and they put in a tall pole and a bunch of bananas on the toppest part of the pole. And so the monkeys were looking at the pole there, and they're looking at the bananas, and they want to get the bananas. And the first monkey jumps onto the pole, and right at the top of the pole, and he's about to grab the bananas. The researchers poured a bucket full of cold, freezing water. The monkey immediately left. And then after a few minutes, the second monkey tried to attempt the same thing, and the same thing happened to it. And the third and the fourth monkey did the same thing. So all of them are now afraid. They're looking at the bananas, but they're saying, you cannot go to those bananas, because if you try to get there, you're going to be soaked in cold water. So after a few days, the researchers removed one of the original monkeys, and they replaced it with one new monkey that wasn't in the room for those past days. And so the new monkey tried to go and climb up to the pole there and get the bananas. the 3 monkeys that were originally there pulled the monkey down, this new monkey that just came into the room. They pulled it down. No, you cannot go there. So the monkey just sat down. It tried, but the 3 monkeys were pulling it down. Don't go there. You cannot go up that pole. But he doesn't know, why am I not going there? So he sits down. So the researchers were slowly replacing all those monkeys, and the same situation was happening. all the monkeys were pulling the other monkeys down. Don't go there, don't go there, the original monkeys. And ultimately, all the 4 monkeys sat down there and they didn't know why they were not supposed to go up there because all the monkeys were pulling them down. So sometimes it's the same thing that happens with us. You look at yourself, you're like, no one in my family has ever done this. No one in the world has ever done this. No one in my country has ever done this. No one in my town has ever done this. Actually, girls don't really do this. So I'm not going to do this. You don't know why. You just know that the society is telling you not to do it. So like those monkeys, they're just pulling you down and you're saying, yes, I am not going to get the bananas. Why don't you get the bananas? You know you want the bananas, but you're just pulling yourself down. You're just saying, okay, they said no one is going up, so I'm also sitting down with them. No, you have to go up. You haven't faced the cold water yourself. What if the bananas are going to be yours? So why are you stopping yourself? Okay, no one in my family has done it, but you are different. You're born with a purpose. So go after your purpose and chase after it and be the first one. If no one has ever done it, then be the first one. Okay, I like this part. Like I was saying, you have to know who you are. So if you know who you are, you ultimately know who you are not, you know? So let's look at the mirror there by the right side. That mirror is broken. And so if you look at yourself from that broken mirror, you're going to see all those funny scars. Look at that girl by the right side of the mirror. Look at how her nose are structured. Look at how her lips are structured. So if you have never seen yourself from the first, anytime in the mirror, so it's the first time you're looking at yourself and you're using a broken mirror, you're obviously going to think, oh my gosh, is that how I look? Is that how my nose looks? Like what's happening, you know? So what am I saying? Know who you are first before you allow the world to define you. Know who you are first, right? Know yourself every single day. Talk to yourself. I know who I am. I know I'm more than a conqueror. I know I'm born to do this. I know I'm born to conquer, right? So don't make the mistake of looking through a broken mirror. How do we look at how do you look through a broken mirror? We look through a broken mirror when we go out in the world there and we allow the world to tell us who you are not. You allow the world to tell you, no one has ever done this before. So why do you want to do it? Those are the voices that come and they tell you all this stuff. And they come again and tell you, this is not the body type that you have to have. You have to try to do A, B, C, D. This is not the type of hair, the hair that you have to have. You have to try to do A, B, C, D. What are you doing in engineering? Yo, girl, what are you trying to do? What are you doing in A, B, C, D? You know, don't allow the world to tell you, because through their brokenness, through the broken mirror, you are ultimately going to get broken yourself until you are derailed from your destiny. So you every day have to constantly remind yourself. Actually, it's just like showering. You know, we shower every day. And it's not like something happens, but nature tells you, the law of nature tells you that stop showering and ultimately people are going to run away from you. It's the same thing. Your brain needs showering every day. Showering every day, reminding yourself, because we go out there in the world and the world has everything and it comes every time. All the voices are louder sometimes and we keep taking them in, but you have to be intentional about what you take in. Be intentional about what you meditate on. Be intentional about what you keep in. You know that I can do it. That small voice in you, cultivate it until it's loud enough to overpower the voices of the world. So the world is going to tell you what you cannot do, but within you, you know that I can do this and I can do this. But that doubt is now being fertilized by the voices of the world. So intentionally clean your brain every single day and make sure that you listen to the voice of purpose. Right? One of the things that are stopping us from stepping out into our destinies are the mistakes that we've done long back. The mistakes that we've done are the ones that are always coming back to knock. Remember what you did the last time. Why do you want to try it this time? What do you think is going to change? Don't embarrass yourself. Don't do this again. Hey, you did this and it didn't turn out good. Don't do this again. No. All men and women fall. But what separates the great from the small is the fact that the great ones get back up. They fall as well, but they get back up. So I will use an example of a rearview mirror. Can you see the rearview mirror? No one ever drives looking back. We drive looking forward, because what is important is what is forward, is what is in front than it is in the back. You just look for a second. So when I'm driving, I know, okay, now I want to move to the next lane. What do? I check mirror, what car is next to me, what's happening in the back. I just check like those seconds, just to check a few seconds what's happening behind me. You know, it is just an informative act that I'm doing. I'm doing that just to check for information purposes. But 98% of the time, I'm looking forward, because that's the main thing, that's the main goal, to go forward, right? So just look back just for the sake of lessons and the information. Like, okay, what did I do wrong the last time that I don't want to do now? Not looking back the entire time, because you will crash ultimately. Because now if you want to do something else, and then you keep on consulting there, yes, I did that the last time, I cannot do it now. No, just 2 seconds and come back. 2 seconds and come back. Why just looking at 2 seconds? Because you just want to know, okay, how did I go wrong the last time? But I'm not going to let it stop me now. I'm just going to go there and see, okay, this is what I did wrong the last time, but I'm not letting it stop me now. Anyway, no one can live a perfect life without mistakes. As long as you're human, allow yourself to be wrong at times and learn from it. So fail and learn from it. Get back up. One wise man said, don't count the times I fall. Count how many times I've fallen and risen again. So you can fall, but what is important is how you rise again. So don't stay there. Pick yourself up. I may be talking to someone right now, and you've been staying there in your failure. You're like, I cannot. And you're sitting down there. You've been sitting there, nursing yourself, nursing that failure. I'm here to tell you that, man, it's not about what you've lost. It's about what you have left that is going to determine the future that you've want, the greatness that you deserve. It's not about what you've lost. Use this resources that you have left, not to throw a pity party, but a restoration party. You know, restore yourself back to your original position. And you may be shocked that your later days are going to be better than the former days. So use the resources that you have left, not to have pity on yourself, but to restore yourself and fix your crown, right? So after all the empowerment that we've been talking about, being the mighty girls, being the mighty women to rule the world, stepping out into our destinies, I want to ask you this now. So what if the world was 100% feminist? And what if girls had sufficient access to education? And what if sanitary wear was so much affordable? You know, because these are some of the things that we face as ladies. All this, and the list is endless, you know. Sometimes the society is just against us, gender-based violence, we don't have access to education, sanitary wear is not affordable. You know, we really hide behind those things, and it's real. I know it. For me personally, I've tested it. I've tested what poverty is from my country. It was really hard, you know. I couldn't go to school sometimes, and I almost dropped out of school as well. So I know what it means. And I know what it means to have all those difficulties and not having food. At some point, I remember they took us away from my parents because my parents could not feed us, you know. So they took me and my siblings away from my parents, and we're staying with other relatives because my family could not afford, you know. But that did not stop me. And I also suffered from chronic rheumatoid arthritis, and I was helpless, you know. I was right of anemia, collapsing and everything. You can have a list of the reasons why you cannot reach your destiny, right? But ultimately, ask yourself that, what if the list of excuses that I have could change? What would change? I'm here to tell you that nothing will change, because only you can stop you. Only you can stop you. And that is it. Only you can stop you. Because even if the world was the perfect place that you're imagining, laziness is going to kick in. The fear, you're going to see the fear either way. Fear is going to come either way. So I am here to tell you that never hide behind anything. There is no excuse for failure. Rise, let nothing stop you, because only you can stop you. And the greatest gift that we have been given is time. As long as no one has 36 hours in their day, then life is fair, right? So make the right choices, run after your destiny. And the fact is that the roadmap to your future destiny, future greatness is not a bed of roses. And it's never going to be a bed of roses. So don't wait for anyone to believe in you before you believe in you. Because it's not going to be a bed of, you'll fall. And they'll come again and tell you, why did you stop? Why did you even try, actually? Why did you try? See what is happening. It's not going to be a bed of roses, but if gold must be gold, it has to go through fire. Don't, because you have failed, you tell yourself, yeah, I was right. Anyway, no girl has ever done this. No one has ever done this. So yeah, that's the reason why I'm failing. No. If gold must be gold, it has to go through fire. A lot of us want to be great, but few of us want to go through the process that it takes to be great. So every time, soldier on. Don't label yourself as anything. Don't label yourself with your gender, with your background, or anything, because only you can stop you, and you know the greatness that is within you. And I'll tell you that, chase after it. Chase after it every single day until you get there. And this is my favorite part. When your purpose is clear, your life will have meaning. I like this. And I like the eagle. That is the one that I was telling you that is my favorite. Because the eagle knows its purpose, you know. When it faces the storm, it flies higher. Because it knows it was just born to soar. It knows that it was born for greater heights. It never settles low. It never flies low. It knows where it's going. And I like the fact that it also has vision. It can see far. And the problem with us is that we just want to see as far as our eyes can see. But vision is all about seeing beyond what your eyes can see, seeing beyond now, and knowing that, yes, I know where I'm going. So that even if the voices come and tell you, yes, we told you, for example, in my community, they told me that I have to grow up and get married to a wealthy man who's going to be able to take care of me, especially considering the fact that my family was a bit poor and I was also suffering medically and like my health. So they usually told us like, man, just grow up and make sure you find the right man, the right man who's wealthy enough to take care of you and your family. But when you know where you're going, you also know where you're not going. You know where you're flying and you know the altitude that you have to fly at. So keep flying. When your purpose is clear, your life will have meaning. And then keep this in mind, because there will come a time where you feel like the pain is too much and you cannot carry it. And those voices that want to stop you in the first place will tell you, yeah, that's the reason why you're facing this. We told you that no girl has ever done this, and not even in your society, not even in your community. And like those monkeys, you're just sitting down, you're saying, yes, that is so true. I just cannot climb up that pole. The reason why? Because now you're facing all these things, you're facing all these obstacles. But when you're tempted to ask these questions, why me of all this trouble? Why me of all this pain? Picture the finishing line. You know, sometimes people always say that when you're about to quit, remember why you started. Sometimes it's different why you start. So I usually say when you're about to quit, just picture how it would feel like finishing, you know, picture how finishing line. You always have to picture that, how it would feel when you get there. How would it feel when you get there? So always keep the future in mind. When you feel that pain, remember that it's worth it, and it's worth it, and only you can stop you. Okay, and here is the copy of my magazine, and I'm going to put the link in the chat box there. I think if I have the access, I think I have the access to do that, right, Natasha?
Yes, you do.
Yeah, so I'm going to put the link in the chat box there. So it's a digital magazine. So I'm going to give you guys a free copy. So it covers the content that we've talked about and some of the different topics that we face as ladies, girls, and even if you're not really a lady or something and you are pro, just step in. We want a change in this world, you know. So this is the magazine. It's called Girl Destiny Calls. Feel free to share with your friends and all people around. So yes, that is it. I hope you guys were inspired by this. And if you have a question that you would like to ask me, perhaps my journey or anything, you can pop it in there and I'll answer you. Thank you. I can see you guys saying I'm inspired. I really hope you guys will share this message, and thank you so much for attending. I've sent in the link there.
Sorry, I was just responding on a chat. We do have one question that asks, I want to know your thoughts on continual failure and giving up. Do you think that all dreams are achievable? And when is there an exception to, I have done all I can and I give up?
This is so interesting. It's really interesting because I would like to answer you with this. Oftentimes you give up one door before a yes, you know, like I said, that the failure is also part of the steps to the ladder. So you really feel like, yes, I've done it. I don't want to do this anymore. But like I'm telling you, every single no has a greater yes in front of it. So we'll be tempted to stop one no before the yes. So keep going. There is no end until you get the yes. So because no is no, no. Just keep going. A yes is there in front of you.
If I can also add on to that, I would say it also depends on how badly you want something. Because if you are truly committed to it, there won't be such thing as I give up. You will feel the need to give up at times, but your need to accomplish that would actually drive you to keep trying. I mean, at some point, yes, there are certain dreams that might not be achievable, but there's also that saying that they say when you reach for the moon, even if you don't land on the moon, you will still land.
On the stars.
So it might not be the dream you've wanted, but you are closer than when you started. So I would say it's a personal decision that once you've tried everything you can possibly try, and if you feel that then try something different. Maybe try your
And the other thing, I'll also say that you know, let me put it this way. I'm also distracted by this question that just came. But life doesn't have a template, you know. So you can be aiming, it's just like me as well. I was aiming at some point that, okay, this is where I want to go, this is where I want to go. But sometimes you find some twists and turns in life and they bring different opportunities. So always open your mind to those different opportunities.
Absolutely. You can always start in one direction and end up somewhere totally different. So that's absolutely the truth. Then I'd like to ask the participants online, if you want to ask a question, please make use of the Q&A, as your question will get missed amongst the chats.
Oh yeah, I see this other one saying, I just changed my position. I think it's a bit dark, but anyway, she's saying, how did you fight the voice? Where was that question? That was saying,
that small voice that minimizes you, especially the one that says be realistic.
Yeah. I'll answer you by this other quote that I learned from this other book, that there are two dogs within you. There are two voices within you, you know, and the greatest voice is the one that you feed the most. So always make sure that you feed the right one the most. Always make sure that you feed the positive one. And always know that anything is possible, because that small voice is always going to come. Be realistic. Allow the other voice to tell you, what if I can do it? If that other voice tells you, what if you fall? Also make sure that you intentionally answer yourself, what if I fly? try.
Yes.
What if when I'm falling, I'll fly. I'll discover that I actually had wings that I didn't know that I had, you know.
Absolutely.
So,
Then we have a question that says, how do you know when to start?
Oh yeah, I actually like this one. I really like this one. How do you know when to start? There will never be a convenient time all the time, but passion without knowledge is really dangerous. So I'll start by saying, feed yourself with the right knowledge for whatever you want to go, for wherever you want to go. If it's something that requires you to have knowledge, feed yourself without knowledge. Because talent can take you so much, but knowledge also accompanies your talent. So there'll come a time where you feel that I can do this, but I'm telling you that don't fly before you strengthen your wings, you know. So always try to feed yourself. And your instinct is going to tell you, okay, now I know, I think. And always find people who are greater than you and just learn at their feet. And automatically you'll know when it's time.
I would also say, I'd like to add on that, as a Golden Key member, so everyone that's actually attending should take note of this. For those of you that would consider require mentoring, we are going to be launching a mentoring program for Golden Key members. So that could also help you if you are struggling to know when to start. Having a mentor actually provide that for you, because they will they encourage you when you feel like giving up. So keep a look at that information and make sure to look into the mentoring program, or even ask one of your lecturers if they would like to mentor you, or someone that you look up to.
Definitely.
Then we have another question from an anonymous attendee that says, how can you develop self-confidence in yourself and not worry about the outside world? Can you kindly provide tips?
Yeah, I like that one. Like I said, you know, you have to intentionally reduce the voices outside. And I told you, speak to yourself every day. I'm telling you guys, I do this every day. I did this in the morning. I do it every single day. Before I get out of my bed, I'm thankful for the day. And I say, I'm going to win. I am going to do this. I am going to do that. You know, don't move with the flow of the day. Be the one who pioneers your day. So it's about being intentional and speaking to yourself. Some people believe in the mirror, you know, talking in the mirror. I don't really do that. But I talk to myself. I talk to myself every time. Star, you are going to do it. Star, you. And even if I fail, I cry sometimes. And then I say, you know what? Let's get back up. We can do this. Okay, we failed, but let's do it. Let's do it again. Because definitely you will feel like, yeah, hey. But ultimately, remember where you're going. Remember, I told you guys, remember the finishing line. So keep talking to yourself, because no one can motivate you more than you. You can listen to me. You can listen to every single motivational speaker on YouTube and wherever, but you still have to make that choice to motivate yourself. You know.
Absolutely. I believe that you have to be your biggest supporter. And just to add on that, like you could use, I like to use a vision board. And I used to use Post-its at some point that I would put it in random places at home. You know, so if I walk into a room, I randomly see this thing that just reminds me of something. So if I find difficulty in something, I either picture somewhere or a Post-it somewhere that just reminds me. So you can do things like that to try and develop your self-confidence in that.
Yeah, true.
Then we have another question that asks, what if it's access to money stopping you?
Wow, that's so nice, because I'll talk from experience. I'll tell you that only you can stop you. Like I was telling you, I had a rough childhood. And but I don't know, you have to know that only you can stop you. Be innovative. These days there is internet, guys. There are platforms such as Jumpstarter. those things, they allow you to have people donate, and you just write your cause, like what is it that you want people to donate towards. Maybe if it's school, just write your story. I'm doing ABCD. I would like funding for this project. Apply. Sometimes we stop ourselves, like I'm saying. I've seen a lot of people saying, I don't have money, I don't have money. But have you tried to apply? Have you reached out? There are a lot of opportunities out there, a lot. Just step out, and only you can stop you.
Absolutely. And then one more question here that's from an anonymous attendee as well. Hey, I'm currently doing a degree and I'm almost done. But deep down, I know this will not take me to where I want to be in life. I'm considering doing what I love, but I'm scared. My question is, how do I know if it's really worth it, or should I just continue?
This is so nice, because I've seen a lot of people with the same question on campus. I'll ask you a question as well. If this thing that you're doing now is going to be something you're going to be happy about, like for the next 50 years, then it's okay. But if you know that it steals your peace, it's too expensive, go after what is going to give you peace.
Absolutely. Then we have a very interesting question, which I suppose most students struggle with. How does it deal with procrastination?
Yeah. So nice. I think every one of us deals with that. So discipline, guys. Nothing good happens without discipline. Actually, the definition of discipline is self-imposed standards for a higher goal. So you do that to yourself, because no one is going to do that for you, especially these days in this pandemic, for example. No lecturer is going to tell you wake up and study, because you're no longer going to class. You can choose not to join the class. You can choose not to, but ultimately I know, okay, I want to do ABCD, so am I going to sleep here and not do this, or, so always suffer now, guys, and enjoy tomorrow. Like nothing is as nice as looking back and saying, yeah, it was worth it.
And I think also with dealing with procrastination, it should be about set yourself a goal so that you have something, that you will do this if you accomplish this by a specific date. So set yourself goals, give yourself a reward if you have to, or people in your life to say, listen, I'm going to get this done by this date and you owe me that. So find ways to motivate yourself.
Yeah, and the other thing, like I always tell people that as an eagle, you have to fly with other eagles so that they hold you accountable. Because sometimes you can't do it on your own. So I have one friend, she pulls me up sometimes because I fall. I mean, I'm human, but you also have to have people that will pull you up and tell you the truth that, you know what, you're messing up. Stand up and do the right thing. So always find the right people who are going to help you.
Absolutely. Then I have a last question here that says, does your magazine need editors and proofreaders? Because I'd love to go into the editing space and I'm looking for experience before I graduate. I'm going to ask if you would want to respond to that privately. You can access the chat the Q&A. So I'm going to ask you to answer that one privately if you do.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, for all those private ones, I think I'm going to answer them privately because I'm also an entrepreneur, so I can have like different parts for that one.
Okay, and then I have a question that's, why do we only see such webinars during the Women's Month? Are we women doing enough to encourage each other throughout the year?
I love this question. I love it because I remember even last year, there was this whole thing about Youth Month, and I was telling people that every month has to be Youth Month, and every month has to be Women's Day. We have to make it our own lifestyle that it's Women's Day. We empower each other every month, it's not, of course, we choose that August is but no, every day, every you know.
I think
I like this word actually.
August just highlights the fact that, hey, listen, we are women, look at us, you know. But
yeah, and this
throughout the
magazine
year.
is also relevant for this. It's not the only magazine that I have. It's just that this one is relevant for the Women's Month, but I do have other ones as well.
Khalaletsang asks, where can we access the link for your magazine? Do you want to just share it again in the chat function?
Yeah, I've been putting it up, but I'm just gonna put it up again. I just put it up.
So Khalaletsang, just keep a lookout in the chat function. It will be posted again. Okay, so it's only the one question that I've asked you to respond to privately. But other than that, we've appeared to have answered all of the questions. We are almost out of time, but I would like to just mention again that the recording will be uploaded on the Golden Key Academy as well as YouTube. I think it will be up on YouTube maybe by tomorrow or Saturday at the latest. So if you don't want to wait for it to be on the Golden Key Academy, if you go to YouTube and search for Golden Key Southern Africa, you can then just put in the title of the webinar, you know, keywords, and it will find the session for you. Alternatively, you can just scroll through the list of webinars that have been uploaded. It appears there is one more question. Let's just see. Katlejo asks, oh, she says, not a question, but regarding procrastination. I trick myself by doing 10 minutes of work just to commit to 10 minutes. And then by the time the 10 minutes is over and you find that you've built the energy to carry on, you can start with 5 minutes and as well and see how that pans out. So I believe Katlejo is saying, just commit yourself to like 10 minutes at a time. So it doesn't have to be that you plan on doing everything at once. You can tell yourself, I'm going to study for an hour. After that hour, take it by the next hour to say, okay, I'll give it another hour, you know, so you give yourself a timeline to work on.
Yeah.
And then I have one more before from Karabo that said, someone typed this, I'm there. Have you got any advice in getting out of a slump? I feel like I've been struggling to find motivation to get out of bed and study in the past year. Because of COVID restrictions have kept us home and lazy. I think most of us can identify with this. It becomes difficult, but you need to find a way. If you can just give advice to Karabo on how to actually motivate herself.
Yeah, like I was saying that firstly, it's about discipline. And then secondly, it's about finding accountability partners. But I'll tell you something, you never reap where you did not sow, you know. Just ask yourself where you'll go to a field and you're going there for harvest, and then you find it's empty, and then you're blaming everything around you, but it's ultimately you're the person who started the whole thing. So always tell yourself, ask yourself what it costs. You know, the cost of discipline is far less than the cost of indiscipline. So ask yourself how it would feel like the cost of not studying, and then get the right accountability partners, and remember to talk to yourself every single time.
I just want to mention that was actually not from Karabo. She copied that, I think, from the chat for us into the Q&A.
Yeah.
Thanks, Karabo. I'm going to take one last question because I would like to allow you the moment to answer that question on the Q&A before we close the session. Nompulelo asks, how do I find my unique voice in this world?
It's a question that I always get asked. I'll tell you, this is a fast world. It's a fast world. It's about choice, you know, and that voice is so small. You have to be intentional about lowering all the other voices. We have social media. People are always scrolling and liking. And if you always feed yourself with that, it becomes smaller and smaller and smaller. So you have to take the time to silence all other voices. And at some point, just take a break shortly, like minimize the time from social media and take the time with yourself. Read the right books, watch the right content that will cultivate you. Like, just spend time with yourself, and be intentional about it, because it's not going to come out easily. Like, I'm not saying don't have fun and everything. Do have fun, but spend time with yourself, because you're the only person who can discover yourself. So spend time with yourself. Just shut the noise from the world. Like, sometimes you don't really need TV 24/7. Just shut the, and just go into your room or whatever makes you have like the right revelation. Sometimes I just go out to nature and everything. Just find a calm space and have that time with you.
Yes. I also think with identifying their personal voice from within, it would be, what are you most commonly known for by your friends and family? They often will tell you, you might be the funny one, or you are the smart.
Yeah.
So take what you hear from others and build on that to actually see what makes you stand out from others, what makes you different and grow.
Yeah. And just a point is, what is it that you would do for free? Like, what is it that you love that you would do without someone paying you? That's the thing, because that's what I discovered. Like, I just wrote this magazine. No one is telling me to write it because I just love doing it. So if you discover that, then you're a step further.
If you don't mind, I just want to ask you to reply to that. But I think we have reached the end of the session. And as women, we all love to talk. So the session can actually go on forever.
Yeah.
It has come to an end. I would like to thank everyone that has attended. And we might look forward to having another session, or, look forward to working with you again. But for the recording, as I've mentioned, it will be available on the Golden Key Academy, as well as YouTube under Golden Key Southern Africa. So with that being said, a very big thank you to Ms. Sivela. It was a wonderful experience to share this webinar with you today. We did learn a lot. I hope it has helped many of you to motivate yourself, find your inner voice, and to remember that failure is not the end of the world. Anyone that you look up to, if you look into their stories, you will find that they have failed so many times before actually achieving the goals that they've achieved in life. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you.